was hoping we'd just let him do it myself.
Just let him do it for fun. This week I didn't watch any wrestling,
Well,
so I'm
first
going to
of
be
all-
completely useless.
Well, okay, then I'll have to carry us through this. We had TLC, and we have our TLC results.
So that's still champion.
I'm still a champion.
Those are the results.
That's it.
It was just, TLC was SmackDown, right? SmackDown show, and the
2 title changes.
tag titles. Wyatt and Randy Orton, the tag
The
champions.
cheating main event.
And the women's champion.
Your lady Alexa won her title though.
yeah, and I was
Even
happy.
though you picked,
like I
Becky
said, that's the most happy I've ever been to lose,
this
to not win the
to
championship.
not win this. Yeah.
Yeah. Because if you watch back of last week's episode, I said I was the first of the three of us to say Alexa will win. But then once you said Alexa will win, I was like,
You wanted to switch
I have
it
to
up.
switch it up
Yeah,
in order
that's-
to win. So
But I'm still a champion. So.
Yep.
And then we had the James Ellsworth thing, him screwing Dean over, and
Why?
yeah,
you know, I gotta say with that match,
it was a great match.
usually when a good match is ruined by like an interference ending, it's always like, why?
Yeah,
why
yeah.
would you? Why?
This.
But it wasn't. It was good because it was like that's not what I expected to
Yeah, it
happen.
was a good. It was an actual swerve.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I had read a while back that there's, and you never know about these reports, but was reports that I think it was another Melzer report, yay, that Vince has said, well, I want to start ending all the pay-per-views with just a huge like left-hand swerve, even if it doesn't really have anything to do with anything.
Yeah.
That'll get old fast, though. Like
I agree with that because the first one was that's why the Lesnar Goldberg thing happened.
Yeah.
And I guess supposedly Vince's attitude about the whole thing is, I'm not trying to make people happy. I'm not necessarily trying to piss people off. I'm just trying to create overall general shock because that's been the biggest moments the last few years.
He needs to stop lying to us and everyone else. He's there to make money.
Well,
Yeah.
that's the bottom line. I mean, that's why you do everything you do. So, or he does everything he does. But anyway, he's running for president, I guess. So
That's fine.
Yeah.
So that was the biggest thing in the night was that match. In my opinion, pretty big deal that Wyatt family have the championship finally.
That was
Yeah,
great.
that was
I'm glad
cool.
about that.
But the biggest
Freebird rules.
Yeah.
by
They
the
did
way.
decide confirm, or they did confirm that. Yeah.
doesn't
So-
surprise me. They're trying to copy what Raw has done.
Yeah, you can't copy success too much, but with the Wyatts being such a far stone toss from
I think they hang on to
New
that too
Day,
well
I
too.
think it'll be. Yeah, I think they're gonna have a long run. I see him honestly carrying it to Mania unless something weird comes up.
That's not that long of a run though. In 3 months.
Well, I think through Mania.
Yeah. Okay.
Give something Bray Wyatt something to do. He gets a win at Mania. And
Yeah.
yeah. So moving on to Raw. So Monday Night Raw was a little weird for me because I ended up coming down with the flu. So was I just out of my gourd, or was that actually a really good Monday Night Raw?
Couldn't tell you. Didn't see it.
So we'll have to rely.
It
on
was a good Monday Night Raw, honestly.
It was a little edgy in some parts.
Yeah.
Matches were pretty good. from what
Speaking
I
of
read.
edgy, I want to go straight to the Lana segment.
I totally called how that was gonna go.
Well, yeah, I said the whole
But-
time. I said to Savannah, I said Admiral Akbar. I just kept saying Admiral Akbar. She's like, "What does that mean?"
Yeah, it's a trap.
It's a trap. I
Yeah.
said it over and over again. It's like there's no way that Lana is going to leave Rusev
After all they've
and then
done.
on the same episode, bang.
Yeah, and a PG show no less.
Right.
They had to have that swerve to save themselves.
Right.
I think. So him not. Did you hear about what happened? So the whole night they're going to backstage segments with Enzo and the Enzo Lana thing continuing on from how it's been the last couple weeks. Well, Lana pretty much gets yelled at by Rusev because she's talking to Enzo and Cass. And at first she starts out trying to ignore him and stuff, and then Rusev's like, "What are you doing, you idiot?" and all this stuff. And she's like, "I wish I had a man who would appreciate me."
Do you know what this means? And like takes off her wedding ring.
She
throws
gets
it.
mad at Rusev, throws the wedding ring. He gets mad, storms off. So Enzo decides he's going to console her, and even though Cass was trying to talk Enzo out of it, sort of, Enzo's like, "Well, I'm going to go to her hotel room and console her because she's ended up inviting him."
Yeah.
So later on,
What we got here? A couple of implants?
So, later on, she sends him a nice little text picture message to get him kind of revved up.
It's like
and
my
ready to
room
go.
is 704.
Yeah, and
Come console me.
Ric Flair, probably my favorite thing
Yeah,
about
yeah,
it.
yeah.
Ric
Flair,
Flair
great
pulls
guy.
in and gives Enzo his limo, and Enzo's like, "Whoa, hey!"
Enzo's like, I'm waiting for my
Ride,
my
and
ride to come, and Ric Flair's like, "Whoa, wait, did you say you're gonna go bang Lana?" And he's like, "Yeah." He's like, here, take my car, take it. Woo, woo,
And they're
woo.
wooing, yeah, they were wooing back and
Like-
forth. That was probably the best part. Was just like from one certified
Warm,
to
warm
another.
her up for me. I'll be on my way. I'm ready.
I honestly, the only thing I missed was the Rick and Charlotte segment where she was supposedly going to apologize to him. I think
Called that too. Like that was very
it was
predictable.
the same stuff with them, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Like, yeah. So Kevin and Jericho are apparently that's completely starting to dissolve. It makes for an interesting storyline, I think. There was the presence of Jericho that Kevin got. There was Rollins had a match with Big Show, a returning Big Show, which completely backfired for Kevin because he ended up getting punched in the face. Then it was super awkward because Big Show just like walked out.
It was super awkward because Big Show debuted as a good guy, and for the first time ever in a match when he came out as a good guy, he left as a good guy too.
Yeah.
He wasn't a bad guy, but in the end.
But again, I had the flu, but there wasn't an actual real finish to that, was there? Except
No,
for a count
because
out?
Big Show, he was gonna finish off Rollins, but then Owens kept yeah, kill him,
Yeah,
Big Show,
yeah.
yeah, and he's like, I'm done with this, and he grabbed Owens and pulled him into the ring and choke slammed him, and he's like, all right, here's a thing, my gift to you.
Yeah,
and
see you
leaves.
later. Yeah.
And he let Rollins pedigree him
Yeah,
and just let himself get counted out, which didn't make sense.
Yeah, I thought it was weird. But I don't know. Big Show doesn't need it, I guess, because he's not.
Right.
He doesn't have anything to do until
He got
Jack.
really good pop for what he did.
Yeah,
It was a cool little
Just making
return
a
segment
statement.
because it was different than him just coming in and winning.
yeah,
Which, I mean, winning against Seth Rollins is no short
Yeah,
task. But, coming in and,
or coming in and losing,
right,
just,
would have
you
been a
know.
big deal, too.
Yeah.
But he came in and he did something different, and it was oh, maybe we're going to continue seeing a Big Show story here.
Could.
Helped his character, at least.
Or he'll pull an Undertaker and not show up again. But more on that later. The other gift of Jericho was that Jericho got to face Roman Reigns for the United States title. Of course, Kevin again gets involved and costs Jericho the match.
Yeah.
It was a pretty decent match.
I
Typical-
thought a couple times during that match that
Yeah, there was
It
some
was gonna
close
change.
times where they kind of teased that it was going to change. There was the Kevin super kicking Roman from the outside, and then Jericho getting him, and I thought that might have been it, but it kind of still ended how I truly thought it would. And
well,
then
especially at the very, very end, when Jericho's like, Owens, get the hell out of here.
yeah,
Right?
yeah.
So, like any other match like this, he's obviously in the background, Reigns is getting up and getting ready to spear him. Right? So, instead of that happening, Reigns comes in for the spear, and Jericho jumps over him.
That
he
was cool.
leapfrogs him
That was
once. But then Reigns immediately turns
Just
around and
swerves
spears him.
Yeah, that was pretty.
But it was oh, nope.
Reigns, for the spear being not an original move at all. How many guys have had the spear as a finisher?
He makes that spear look good.
He's been doing some cool stuff with it. When he first did the spear, I wasn't impressed with it.
Right.
But he might end up having one of my favorite spears,
Right.
which is saying something for that move.
Ever since he speared Shane out of his board.
Yeah. The other gift to Jericho, I know there's 3. The third one was that Jericho and Rollins at the pay-per-view, or was there something else?
I think that's it.
Yeah.
I think that's it.
And so that was the main stuff I remember from Raw. There was, I think, some... they're teasing whether or not New Day is going to lose or keep their title. They have till midnight of next Monday. So who knows how... And they're going to face... I'm trying
It's
to
like a
remember.
triple threat.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a triple. Yeah, they're going to do that. So I could see that going either way. I think they want them to beat the record, but
They'll beat the record.
They
for
will,
sure.
yeah.
100%.
yeah.
What happened on SmackDown this week?
SmackDown was just kind of fallout from TLC. They actually did address AJ's ripping his pants out and like it kind
Yeah,
of
that's
going.
the first thing in the
yeah,
show.
yeah.
He's like, all right, let's address the elephant in the room. And,
And
it
then-
just shows a close up of his ass.
Yeah.
Ripped a hole in.
The Ellsworth AJ match didn't happen because AJ was not cleared to.
He came in with a boot
Yeah.
on.
He came
Well,
with
AJ
the boot.
has a legitimate injury.
He does have a minor legitimate injury.
Oh, he
but-
really does?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Ellsworth came out and was like, you know, basically accusing AJ of worming his way out of it, and that he's scared of him. And then
Yeah.
AJ, it was a good segment. It was very confusing though because it was kind of like, I know AJ's still heel and Ellsworth's apparently heel, but there was moments of like, is AJ heel? Are they gonna turn?
Who's the heel
Yeah,
here?
it kind of
Yeah.
was like, who's the heel? Because Ellsworth is like, oh, I'm still friends with Dean, and Dean's not mad at me. He would have done the same thing. Dean comes right out. Dirty
Dean
Deeds,
walks
and
out,
just-
says nothing, just his music. His music barely stops. He dirty deeds
which
James,
Everyone's-
and then he just
yeah.
leaves. Music starts again.
everyone's expecting a just psychotic, mad Dean Ambrose, and that's not what we saw at
Yeah.
all. On which
Well,
is
on
kind of
Talking Smack after TLC, James Ellsworth is like, this guarantees my world championship match against AJ Styles, which
Yeah.
I'm owed.
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah, somehow. I guess he's beat him enough, but anyway. Then
Never been defeated by AJ Styles.
They had Wyatt's had a rematch, or Wyatt's had to defend their titles in the rematch with.
Whenever you
and that
see
was-
a
that was
rematch
good.
on the show directly after the pay per view, it's like, oh, okay, retain.
Unless it's for the Intercontinental title after WrestleMania.
And the Miz is in it.
That was
And
crazy.
the Miz is in it, yes. 'cause
That was crazy.
Miz
though,
has
this
done
That
year.
that.
happened twice.
Miz has done that to Barrett, and he's done that to Ryder, and I want to say he's done it to Barrett twice, but maybe
Barrett twice, Ryder once.
yeah, or maybe one of the Barrett ones was
Was
Barrett,
not WrestleMania.
Barrett got it back, but
Or
I don't know.
right before.
I know
pay-per-view, too with Ziggler.
Yeah. Anyway, with the Intercontinental title, it happens. They
Basically,
had
who knows when it comes to the Miz.
Miz TV had Ambrose, and Miz was trying to get the anger out of Ambrose. That led to a Intercontinental title match that Dan O'Brien made, and of course James Ellsworth comes out to help Dean and ends up distracting the
He
ref.
screws Dean over, basically.
Yeah, and it was
Dean
kind
gets
of-
like a 12 count on Miz at one
yeah,
point.
it's pretty.
As much as I like Ellsworth, it's getting ridiculous.
Yeah, I'm wondering if Vince's long term is I'm gonna turn this guy heel so people hate him, then I can just fade him out because
Probably.
he's done that before. Like, so I know Ellsworth is a perfectly normalish person, but it kind of makes me think of Zach Gowen. And how that whole thing went. It makes me think of even Hornswoggle
Fair
to some
assessment.
degree.
Fair.
You know, we're going to bring somebody in that really shouldn't be here and have them be in a big storyline, and then we'll fade
Yeah.
them out. And that's kind of what I see happening, because that's just, there's probably numerous examples. Anyway, like I said, had the flu, missed 205 Live. I know I could easily get on the WWE Network and watch that, but I didn't.
205 Live, nothing happened.
It didn't seem like anything happened. 'cause there
It was to
nothing.
watch.
There was wrestling. Same with NXT. There was wrestling.
And I will go watch it, but it doesn't sound like anything.
The only thing
major
205 Live or Cruiserweight things I really want to talk about, Jack Gallagher had his Raw debut.
That was true.
Fantastic match. He put on a fantastic.
Yeah.
Like
that was
if I'm gonna say anybody did a good debut in 2016, Jack Gallagher.
He's on top.
definitely
top 5, top 10.
people that have no idea who the cruiserweights are.
especially
People that have no interest in it on Monday.
Yeah.
They probably are like, oh, Jack Gallagher. I can't wait to watch him
Who'd
again.
Gallagher wrestle?
rematch from 205 the week before Davari.
Oh, you're
You remember when Jake first saw Gallagher and how
Hated
he
him.
hated him? I think
then loved him.
That's
by the
what
end of the
everyone-
match.
that's what I
did.
think of. Yeah, that's how
Yeah.
I think of everybody. The only NXT noteworthy thing is that Nakamura has regained the NXT title from Joe. I think the only point to him losing was to hype the match that they had over in Japan.
So now they're both
So,
two-time
they're both
NXT champions.
2-time, yeah.
Which doesn't happen a lot.
No,
Hasn't ever
honestly.
happened. Joe's first.
Joe
one.
is the first.
Oh, really?
Nakamura's the second. Yep.
Jesus.
I think that's good for building a brand is having
Building the title too.
yes, multiple time champions makes it look like more than just when this guy loses, he's going to go to the
Also, when they
main
come
roster.
up, they're like these guys. These only two ever.
Yeah. I think a lot of people have been stating a lot of different things and assuming a lot of different things, but I think Nakamura after WrestleMania.
Fair
Honestly.
enough.
So that's all the wrestling I have. I know I don't have a lot on news outside of WWE or like outside of what the company wants people to know about or whatever, but Del Rio's still talking a lot of crap. There's this interesting video about Del Rio being asked and commenting about Vince saying he might run for president, whether that's a joke or not, and Paige is with him.
I don't think Vince honestly cares anything about being president.
It's probably a joke.
Especially
Yeah.
with his wife now being part of,
Yeah.
of Trump's presidency now. I don't
Yeah.
know if you guys saw that,
Yeah.
but
she's now part of his.
She's like the Secretary of Small Business or
yeah,
something.
yeah.
it's hard to read Paige on that video, and you don't know if they're just being sarcastic assholes or
Well,
if they're joking.
At this point, I don't
but
care about Katie.
Del
Yeah.
Rio is the Mexican.
It makes me wonder if she's
I'm not assuming
Trying
anything,
to
but
get
he's talking
let go.
shit about Donald Trump. Like,
Right. Doesn't hold a whole lot of weight.
That for
with,
sure.
like, the bias of people.
Yeah.
well.
Even though the way you said it does sound like a bias yourself. But
Well,
like, I get what you're saying. I get it.
Yeah, I saw an interesting comment that was underneath the video after I watched it. Someone was like, "So we have a person born in England and a person born in Mexico talking about our
American politics."
Yeah.
Yeah.
So exactly.
I got one word
So
for Alberto Del Rio. Fuck him.